Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. This is Elizabeth. I'm sorry that I've not been here for several days, but I started getting sick on Friday last week, and man, oh man, that was a really rough time. But I'm feeling better, and I wanted to jump on here, number one, and say, yay, the channel is monetized. Thank you for everybody who's tuning in and who's participating and joining us with some of these, just the looks at Letcher County. Um, Hello there, love bug. Welcome, welcome. So, anyway, I wanted to jump right in and read a couple of articles again. Um, there is another YouTuber, the Truth and Transparency. Shout out to her. She has really put a lot of this stuff together. There's a few things that she's not exactly accurate on, but for the most part, she's on the trail. And one of the articles that I wanted to read here, let me pull this up, um, is about uh, Eddison Banks. Um, Eddison is the former Commonwealth attorney here in Letcher County. And he was the one who was out on sick leave. But let's read the article about what happened. All right, nurse pulled over. This was from the Mountain Eagle, and this was April 26th, 2023. So this has been going on for quite some time. Nurse pulled over in SUV of prosecutor is charged. A 22-year-old Crafts Collie woman is facing multiple counts of possession and one count of trafficking in math after a police officer recognized her as someone with a warrant against her. The woman, Taylor Pratt, was a certified nurse aide working for Commonwealth attorney Eddison Banks and was riding in a car belonging to him when she was arrested. Banks, who suffered a heart attack last year, said he was told by his doctor that he would not be allowed to go home unless he had a 24-hour CNA. He hired Pratt on the recommendation of a friend and then rehired her when his mother became ill. He said she had lost her home in the flood and she had her own room in his home. Banks said she took care of their medications, drove him to work, and helped him into the office every day before going back to take care of his mother. The bad part is, apparently, she's a bad addict. But I never picked up on it, Banks said. If I had known she had a problem, I certainly would have worked to get her help. Well, I think that's just a big old bunch of BS, because how can you be our Commonwealth attorney charging all these cases, these rug cases, and you don't recognize addiction behavior? That's ridiculous. Um, According to the citation filed when Pratt was arrested, Deputy Sheriff Jason Adams recognized Pratt when she got in the passenger side of the SUV at Whitesburg Plaza Shopping Center and knew there was a warrant out for her. He followed the vehicle onto US 119 North and pulled it over near Fairview Drive. Adams wrote that he arrested Pratt and found a small black drawstring bag lying on her seat that contained 3 plastic tubes filled with Mary Jane, after which he searched further in the vehicle. According to the citation, he found a backpack containing 3 pipes, paraphernalia, I guess, a set of scales, and multiple straws and a glass vial containing a crystal like residue. Adams wrote that the side panel of the center console appeared to have been out of place, and when he removed it, and looked inside, he found a magnetic box with two small baggies containing approximately 5 grams of suspected meth, a baggie containing a brown powder believed to be H, we'll just call it H, and a bundle of paper strips approximately an inch long, each that looked like miniature $5 bills. According to the citation, let me make sure. Okay, everything's still running right. Okay. According to the citation, the strips are suspected of being LSD. Oh my goodness. It says he also found plastic bags containing an unknown substance, two big plastic bags containing multiple small baggies, a Smith& Wesson revolver, and a Braco Arms semi-automatic pistol. Banks said the Smith& Wesson was inherited from his aunt and police returned it to him. Pratt was taken to the Letcher County Jail. She was released on a $10,000 unsecured bond on the condition that she attended 90 days of rug rehabilitation. Mm-mm-mm. I had not read that before I got on here, so I'm reading it first right with you all. And then let's read the next one. All right. Now, this was September 6th, 2023. All right. Delay in criminal case against live-in nurses aide questioned. The handling of a court case involving a live-in certified nurses aide who was arrested while driving a vehicle owned by the Letcher County Commonwealth's attorney is drawing questions from lawyers and others in the county. You reckon? And we're going to find out what's happened. Cases have now come to light that show she had been arrested at least once before on a rug charge and pulled over and ticketed 2 days before the latest rug arrest for speeding and careless driving, also while in Banks's 2013 Tahoe. So she was pulled over in the attorney's vehicle. Okay, all of these times that she was pulled over in his vehicle. Now, this is the same Commonwealth attorney who we're going to see in this next article. He was out 18 of 37 months on sick leave, and we didn't have no other attorney taking his place to take care of all these cases. It's just ridiculous. And everybody just thinks it's okay. Well, that's how entitlement in law enforcement works and in the criminal justice system when you don't have anybody who's looking. Commonwealth's attorney, except for the citizens, of course. Commonwealth's attorney, Eddison Banks, stepped aside in the Rudd case, and the Kentucky Attorney General has apparently appointed a special prosecutor from Bell County, which is just right on the other side of Harlan County, so that's not very far from here. It's Pineville, Kentucky is where that's at. But so far, there has been no indictment and seemingly no movement in the case. Of course not. Banks has been ill for more than 3 years and has rarely been in his office and in court during that time. He recently finished a stay in a nursing home for physical rehabilitation. His office referred calls to his home or cell phone, but he could not be reached at either number. The main case being questioned involves Taylor Pratt, 23, a CNA who had been living in Banks's home as a caregiver. Letcher County Deputy Sheriff Jason Adams arrested her during a traffic stop on April 19th and charged her with possession of Mary Jane, possession of paraphernalia, first degree trafficking in a controlled substance, first offense, 2 G's of meth or more, first degree possession of a controlled substance, and then in parentheses it says first offense H, first degree possession of a controlled substance, and then in parentheses first offense, you know, LS, the psychedelic stuff, and first degree possession of a controlled substance, first offense, rug unspecified. She was driving Banks's silver Chevrolet Tahoe at the time. She was released on an unsecured $10,000 bond on conditions that she not violate any state, federal, or local laws, make all court appearances, and enroll in and complete 90 days of an inpatient rehab. I'm sure that was probably ARC, so they could make more money. Banks said at the time that she had been recommended by a friend so he could come home from a nursing home following a heart attack. And he was unaware that she had a rug problem. Well, I think that friend wasn't a very good friend. Either that or, everybody knows that birds of a feather flock together. This is this shouldn't be no huge surprise. When you've got one bad apple in the bag, they all turn bad. Anywhere that rotten apple is touching those good apples starts a bad spot, and it infects the soul. Let's see. None of the attorneys who were concerned about the case would comment publicly about the case, but questioned privately why nothing has happened. Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Steins, whose deputy made the arrest, said his office has not had anything to do with the delay and is ready to proceed. There's no favoritism, no special treatment. We'll indict her just like we do any one of the hundreds we've arrested for rugs, Stein said. He said his office is waiting for a prosecutor to be appointed. He and others said they have been told it's been referred to the Bell County Commonwealth's attorney, but there's no entry of appearance for her in the court file. Bell County Commonwealth's attorney, Lisa Fugit, did not respond to a message left with her secretary. But while that case was reported in April, there was 2 more cases that were not discovered at the time. One was a traffic ticket issued by Kentucky State Police 2 days before the rug arrest, charging Pratt with driving 26 miles over the speed limit and careless driving. That's what I was getting ready to say. That if that was me, I'd be going to jail. I wouldn't have just got no ticket. That's careless driving, or reckless driving, I think is what they call it. The citation, which was not previously seen, accuses her of driving 90 miles per hour in a 55 miles per hour zone. So she was driving 45 miles over the speed limit. Well, how do you get 26 miles over the speed limit then? Because do the math. 90 minus 55 doesn't pass the smell test, does it? In a 55 miles per hour zone on US 23 in Banks's silver SUV. Trooper Brandon Watts wrote that after stopping the accused, she was asked to exit the vehicle. A hypodermic thing fell from her lap as she exited. There were hypodermics in the door and in the console. I also located glass pipes, scales, torch lighters, and more things in a backpack. The accused also had Narcan. Well, I'm glad she had her something there, so in case she fell out, she could pull herself out of it. It's just ridiculous. And this was last year, y'all, that these were in the paper. All right, let me get back here. She was not arrested or cited for any rug or rug paraphernalia offenses. Are you joking? But she had all that stuff in the vehicle. That doesn't say very much about that cop, Brandon Watts, does it? Oh. And that's our state police. That's the same state police post who's investigating Mickey and Kevin. I still can't believe that they allowed them to investigate this case. While those are the only cases in Letcher County, a statewide search shows she was arrested a year earlier in Pike County for driving under the influence, and she was charged with first-degree possession of a controlled substance. Looks like pain pills. Pikeville Police Department Officer Jay Lawson wrote that he warned her on the roadside, and as he was taking her into the jail, that if she had anything illegal on her person, she would be charged for it. While being searched at the jail, a green leafy substance was located on her person. She identified it as Mary Jane and said, the F word, that ain't nothing. And this is who our Commonwealth attorney decided to hire as his live-in nurse. Kind of makes me think she was a little bit something more than a nurse. She was charged with first-degree promoting contraband as a result. After court documents were returned undelivered twice, delaying the case, she filed a change of address with the court, but then failed to appear on April 18th, 2023, one day before her arrest at Irvine. They should have done a search warrant on Banks's house if she had that much stuff in her car all the time. She attended pre-trial in June in Pike County, and on July 20th attended court by Zoom. This time, Pike Circuit Judge Howard Keith Hall noted that she was in treatment and that the treatment facility had moved her 4 times and is now moving her farther away. Judge Hall wrote that ARC, the rehab center, was to bring her to the next scheduled hearing on September 28th and that she was to appear in person. Her current location was unconfirmed at press time. Her case file in the Letcher Circuit Clerk's office shows she completed 110 days of home incarceration. Of course she did, because Letcher County has the best house arrest system. In the April 19th, 2023 case. Her attorney, of course, Daniel Dodson, withdrew from the case August 22nd. Okay, now we've got one more. Let me look at some comments here real quick before we move over to this last article. Thank you, everybody, for coming and being here and being part of this. We are finally monetized on this channel, so that means we've got memberships and all that stuff. I'm new, so I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm trying to figure it out as I go. So if y'all want to be a member, there you go. We've now got super stickers and super chats and all that good stuff. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. Okay. So we got Miss Lovebug, Buckwheat, P. Bevator. Morning, Elizabeth. Have you noticed if you are a dirt road American, you only find out about this stuff after your taxes go up to pay municipal fines and LEO settlements. Local press is vital. Yeah, and a lot of times, like this Commonwealth attorney, our attorney general had to appoint Matt Butler to take his place recently because he was always out on sick leave. He was never there at court to do what needed to be done. So they've appointed Matt Butler, but now the same guy who was out on sick leave, Eddison Banks, he's running in the next election to get his job back. Well, I can tell you, I don't want him back. I won't be voting for him. Let's see. All right, Lisa Haney. All right, thank you guys. Thank you guys. All right, let's go read this other article. All right, this is the last one. Now, this is the one that Truth and Transparency had read, shout out, on her YouTube channel. She's put a whole lot of stuff together on this. So let me get over here and read it. This was on July 3rd, 2024. So this is almost a whole year after the two that we just read. This is also the Mountain Eagle. Butler appointed to replace Eddison G. Banks II. Governor Andy Beshear has appointed Matt Butler as the new 47th District Commonwealth's attorney after Eddison G. Banks II retired effectively July 1st. But he's running again, so I don't understand that. Butler is the Democratic candidate for the office and will fill the position at least until the election this November. Beshear made the appointment Monday afternoon, and Butler was sworn in by Circuit Judge James W. Kraft II during a private ceremony at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And just to also tell you, a lot of these elections that have been taking place, prior to all of this, Eddison Banks didn't have anybody running against him. He was pretty much running unopposed because we don't have many people who are lawyers in this town. You don't have many people that are allowed in that legal community circle. And so what lawyers that you did have around here, I don't know why. You tell me. Why didn't they run? Why didn't anybody run? Nobody ran that was qualified ever ran against Eddison Banks. Not in the last several years, anyway. That's my opinion. We had some little feller who got on there. I don't know how he got his name on the ballot, but he did. But he wasn't a lawyer. He just thought he was. All right. A native of Michigan, Butler moved to Kentucky in 2007 after interning with the federal public defender in Washington, D.C. He has since service. I wondered about that. I knew he wasn't from here. I knew Matt Butler wasn't from here. A native of Michigan, Butler moved to Kentucky in 2007 after interning with the federal public defender in Washington, D.C. He has since service with the Kentucky Department of Public Advocacy in Hazard and in private practice in Whitesburg and at a firm in Heinemann where he worked on coal mine dust mask issues. Very interesting. I did not. Banks, who served in the office for 23 years, submitted his letter. See, I told you he's been in there forever. And nobody ever ran against him. Submitted his letter of retirement March 27th to be effective July 1st. but did not withdraw from the race, and as of this week was still slated to appear on the ballot. See, I knew it. If he removes his name before August 13th, the county Republican Executive Committee could appoint a replacement candidate. But several other attorneys said they could not think of anyone who is qualified for the office, interested in serving, and registered to vote as a Republican. Under Kentucky law, a candidate for Commonwealth's attorney must be at least 24 years old, a citizen of Kentucky, must have lived in the state for 2 years, the county and district where they're running for 1 year, and been a licensed practicing lawyer for 4 years. So there's a lot of requirements for that. The State Prosecutor's Advisory Council and the governor's office provided the letter and other documents late last week in response to open records requests. Banks requested in February that the Attorney General send special prosecutors to handle cases here when current Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Nick Whitaker also had to take sick leave for surgery, leaving no attorney to run the office. Does it say when that happened? The State Prosecutor's Advisory Council and the governor's office provided a letter and other documents late last week in response to open records requests. Well, I sent an open records request to the governor's office for the same exact thing. And I was told that they did not have any of that information, that I had to go somewhere else. So that's interesting that the newspaper's getting the open records requests that I can't get. Let's see. Banks requested in February that the Attorney General send special prosecutors to handle cases. So that was in February that he requested. Okay. Timesheets provided by the Prosecutor's Advisory Council show Banks was on sick leave for at least 18 of the past 37 months. Banks was embroiled in controversy last fall over criticisms from other attorneys that he was not showing up for court dates, causing cases to be delayed. Banks suffered a heart attack in May of 2021 and returned to work briefly the following January before having to go back to the hospital. I went to the courthouse. I've been in the courtroom several times before he went out. And he always looked like he was about to fall over, like he could barely even walk in the room. And I thought then, how in the world can you have him in here trying these cases and working this job when he can barely walk? He can, he looked absolutely awful, like he was sick. Not saying anything bad, just that he looked sick. You could tell he was sick. He wasn't in no shape to be in the courtroom. Banks told the Mountain Eagle in October that his doctor would not allow him to come home without 24-hour care, and he hired a certified nurse's aide to move into his house in April 2023 so he could be released from the hospital. That nurse aide, Taylor Pratt, now 23 years old, was arrested April 19th, 2023, while riding in Banks's 2013 Tahoe with an unidentified driver. That arrest came shortly after she was ticketed for speeding while driving Banks's vehicle to a different court appearance in Pike County. That was different than the last article. That arrest came shortly after she was ticketed for speeding while driving Banks's vehicle to a different court appearance in Pike County. The charges were dismissed June 13th by a Perry County judge when a special prosecutor from Bell County failed to answer a motion by the defense that the evidence be suppressed. So all those charges for H, for all that stuff that we read earlier, dismissed. You're joking me. Police initially charged her with trafficking in a controlled substance, meth, and other rug related charges, and said they believed some of the rugs were psychedelic. But Sheriff Mickey Steins said the state lab found the drugs were actually the big F word, the new F word that's harming and unaliving everybody. Steins said he has attempted to contact Bell County Commonwealth's attorney, Lisa Fugit, to find out why no response to the motion was filed and why she filed a joint motion with the defense to dismiss the case. But she has refused to talk to him. So she refused to talk to Steins. How does that, what's that say about corruption in Letcher County? So I'm going to take just a second to say why I made the Who is Mickey Steins video and the Who is Judge Kevin Mullins video. You're not going to please everybody, okay? Some people are going to like it. Some people aren't. I am of the belief that we are not, let's see, our mistakes do not define us, okay? We all make mistakes in life. We all have go down bad paths sometimes. And sometimes it's not even due to our own efforts. You know, somebody else can get us in trouble sometimes. But and just to be transparent, Mickey or Kevin, neither one even liked me personally as a person. I tried so hard to break into the circle down there when I got my education and I got all the qualifications. I worked almost 10 years of my life gaining all this stuff so I could work in law enforcement in some way, shape, or form. I don't know, maybe as a victim's advocate or, you know, in some area umbrella, under that umbrella. And when Mickey first got elected to sheriff, I turned in my application, or, you know, turned in all my stuff. I applied there. He wouldn't even entertain an interview with me. And Kevin, there were a couple situations where I had bad encounters with bad police. I don't know how else to say it because I have to be careful what I say too. And I was afraid. I was afraid that I would just be rushed through the system and be done badly, which they were trying to do. But when it went in front of Kevin didn't let that happen. He stopped it. And so I respected Kevin for that. I respected Kevin for his fairness in the courtroom. And it wasn't just me. I've seen several people go in front of him. I've went in support of other people. And I've never seen Kevin in the courtroom as a judge do anything that was underhanded or, you know, just railroad somebody. I've never seen him do it. So when I made those videos, I made them, you know, they have everything that's going around right now, the rumors and all that stuff. That's not evidence. nobody can go out and call the judge and say that he did something that we haven't seen evidence of yet. Mickey hasn't even said that he did um, the things that are being rumored, you know. So those kinds of things, uh, I know salaciousness sells, but if it's not fact, if it's not in the newspaper, or if we don't have any documentation showing that this has happened, then I don't feel comfortable. You or anybody can say whatever they want to, but I'm not going to report that. Okay. Just because, I have to be careful what I say, and I believe in doing what's right. You know, that's why everybody's kind of so outraged, because with this situation with Mickey and Kevin, and it's bringing up so many other areas of corruption, uh, like social services. Letcher County Social Services is the most ungodly department that I've ever come in contact with, and that's who they need to be investigating, is the Letcher County Children's, where they go, social services. There have been so many situations with people's homes and children that have where they have just absolutely been decimated because they don't have money. They can't hire an attorney. They're not educated, so they don't know how to fight back. And if you don't have money, then you can't hire a lawyer to fight that bunch down there. And so that's the only thing that's ever saved me, was just my knowledge and my education, and the fact that I'll sacrifice and take my money and hire a lawyer, which, you know, it's what you have to do. don't be don't be a big dummy unless you got somebody on your side that can stand and, that can speak for you at the courthouse. But anyway, I just wanted to take a minute there at the end and explain why I did the videos, for who is Mickey and who is Kevin. And some people aren't going to like them, and some people are. And, that's okay. Not everybody's going to like us. There's a whole lot that don't like me. So that's okay. All right, y'all. Well, I have to go get my children from school. But there's this little look at Eddison Banks and the situation going on down there with that. Her charges were dismissed. And that was even by a special prosecutor from a surrounding county. So, they all cover for each other. It's that thin blue line goes way beyond just police. All right, y'all. Well, you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.